Iowa last week, according to a report from the Iowa Department of Agriculture, which also gave the status of the cleanup process. All infected turkeys are depopulated and in the process of composting. The infected facilities will be cleaned up and disinfected before restocking, and all but one of the commercial laying and pullet facilities have been depopulated. The last one will finish euthanasia this week. Disposal of those birds is ongoing, though. Composting, burial, and landfills. 457 biosecure boxes have been disposed through incineration, with 600 left to go. After World Trade Organization ruling found that American meat labeling rules treated imported livestock unfairly, the House of Representatives voted to repeal the rules. The decision came as Canada pressured U.S. lawmakers with threats of billions of dollars in import taxes if the rules weren't repealed. Canada's livestock industry seems pleased with the House votes. Canadian Cattlemen Association's Director of Government and International Relations, John Maswell, says Canadian leaders are serious about retaliation unless the U.S. does something about the trade-distorting rule they say has damaged their livestock industry. He says U.S. House leaders showed concern for retaliation and proved it with their vote to scrap COOL.
A lot of concern in the House, as well there should be, because this is real. I think if anybody thinks that this is a bluff or isn't going to happen, I've met with our ag minister a lot of times on this, and he doesn't sound like he's bluffing to me. It comes right from the Prime Minister. He intends to do this if we need to.
The Canadian government is currently requesting authorization from the World Trade Organization to saddle American imports with more than $3 billion in tariffs. The WTO will make its decision on June 17th. For Iowa, the affected products represents an annual $1.3 billion in exports to Canada and includes corn syrup, and soybeans. Market mentality has the crop getting bigger, not smaller, according to Don Rose with the U.S. Commodities in West Des Moines.
Yeah, the corn market's getting pressed here overnight and during the day on favorable weather, not in the U.S., but are also around the world. But overall, as the rain makes grain theory is pressing the market. Yeah, the soybean market is finding a little more support than the corn. Primarily, we still have acres to plant on soybeans, somewhere around 10 million acres of soybeans yet to go in the ground. And also the wet weather for soybeans is a bit of an issue. Well, the cash cattle last week traded $152 to $153 for the bulk of the cash trade, which was down $2 to $3 a hundredweight. The technicals are negative on the cattle, and funds remain long. So it's the beef and the cash coming under some pressure. As we're getting closer to this hog and pig report, quarterly report, the fear is that we could see a mild expansion versus a signal that we really need to send to liquidate for a liquidation type of phase a little bit. So I think it's just the large supplies that are coming at us. Our slaughter was over 11% in the last week. Our production was over 10%. And in those back months, down the limit here at times during the day on fears of expansion.
A heavier run on sheep and goats meant softer prices at the second sheep and goat market this month in Colfax. 1,110 head of sheep sold this past Saturday, with feeder lambs fetching the day's high average price at $1.98 per pound. Fed lambs averaged $1.65 per pound, with prices on the 103 head of goats ranging from $121 to $200 per head. We put stories up every day. Check out WHOTV.com. Click News, then Agribusiness.